As Scott says, that's us relegated. To be honest, the team just isn't good enough. It's as simple as that. Tan and his minions can take full credit for this relegation. Welcome back to Where Bluebirds Walk. 20 minutes of Cardiff chat, and we've, of course, got lots to talk about. This week, we've got a sacking to talk about, a new manager to talk about, and an Oxford draw, which should have been more. Plus 2 games left to still save this season. Is it going to happen? We've got James back with us. Thank you very much for joining us. Right, Jamie, lots of negativity on Cardiff Twitter. Is it done in your eyes?
Not mathematically, but let's be honest, unless there's a miracle, most probably. Just sums up our season. A 1 in 100 chance goes in top corner like a rocket. Yeah, that's all I can say, really.
Yeah, and Oxford weren't good, let's be honest. They were there for the taking. Even their fans were saying, look, apart from that Brannigan strike, they weren't doing anything. Let's just rewind a little bit, though, back to Friday, when obviously that crucial game, as we've already mentioned, was a washout. Sheffield United, I think. I mean, I watched that. That was so poor from you, James. It came as no surprise, the sacking of Reza. What was your view of it?
It needed to be done a lot sooner than that to have any chance in getting anything out of this season. For too many games, it was the same performance, the same excuses, and unfortunately, it's all been left too late. And like I said a couple of weeks ago, there's going to be nothing that saves us this season. No points deductions anyway, and the quality of the teams in and below us, and sort of even around us, are a lot better this season than a couple of seasons back. So you see sort of like Derby and Luton picking up wins. We just can't buy a win at the moment, and it's just all too late now.
Yeah, I mean, it was a sort of a nightmarish day and all, wasn't it? Monday, given that Plymouth, Hull, Derby, Luton all picking up points. It's not done yet, like you said. We'll get on to the final 2 games in a minute. But Jamie, were you happy first of all with the direction the club went with Ramsey?
Yeah, I mean, again, it sounds daft, but it begs to the question: why wasn't it done sooner? Especially when all bar Chris Gunter were internal people. You look at it and say, if buts maybes now. I mean, like James said there, there is quality. I don't mean to disrespect teams in and around us, but the games that matter most, we haven't delivered in, i.e. the Lutons and so on and so forth. Listen, we've chose this path. At the end of the day, Vincent Tan has selected Omar Izza for a very long time, despite reports of, the other 2 members in the boardroom wanting to go elsewhere early on in the season. So, you reap what you sow. For good, for the life of us, we don't know how or why we kept somebody in who, nice guy as a person, but his record was terrible. So it begs, it said you go in one direction, aren't you? Ramsey, we played okay. I think we played quite well. But again, it's probably unfair to judge Ramsey on one game and one training session.
Yeah, he didn't have much time with them, did he, at all? And there's reasons to be cheerful in that you've got West Brom and Norwich coming up. We'll talk more about that in a second. Let's get some social media takes. So Amity says, "I love this man," in reference to Ramsey. He's City through and through. He shouldn't have had to come to this, where he's having to try and perform a miracle. Same with Rolls. Poor from the board, but no Cardiff fan will hold this against them when we, of course, eventually go down. James, do you agree with that? This is whatever happens.
100%. Yeah. This is not his mess. This is the club's mess, the board's mess, and ultimately Riz's mess, really. And unfortunately, Ramsey's the one that's going to have to, see this season out now. And ultimately, we will end up with the relegation. And it's just how we sort of, bounce back now in the summer and sort of is all about getting the recruitment right and getting the plans right for next season.
Okay. A couple more here. Adam says, it's sadly too little too late. Realistically, we needed 9 points from the remaining 3 games, and it wasn't going to happen. Feel sorry for Rambo. He's been fed to the Lions with a virtually impossible task. That phrase there, Jamie, do you agree with that? He's been fed to the Lions?
Yeah. I mean, again, let's be honest. It's a case of, like we said, why why on, arguably our biggest game this season, you then putting him in place? Why wasn't it the game before? Why wasn't it before that? What's he meant to do with one session, with one day, one training session? And he said that. So even if we do go on to win our 2 games against managerless sides now, ironically, the goal difference is going to play a massive part. And again, this is a 46 game season, 43 games of which, we're under 2 tutelage managers, and we haven't been good enough overall.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing with West Brom and Norwich, as you highlighted, is that they've got nothing to play for, James. They've been garbage. If you were still playing them, if you played them a week ago, I think you probably would have beaten both. Norwich in particular can't defend. If you were to beat West Brom this weekend, Derby play Hull. Okay, so they ain't both winning. Plymouth go to Preston. Luton have got a tough game against Coventry. Yeah. So this is. I mean, obviously you've got to beat West Brom first, but it's not done. It ain't done yet, is it?
Not done yet, but none of this means anything if we can't get 3 points now, because obviously with it only being 1 game after the West Brom game now, there's no room for error now. Obviously, we said that the Stoke game, it was a must-win. We never won that. The Oxford game, if we'd won the Oxford game yesterday, I think we would have been 1 point behind them, which would have given us a lot more hope now. But the thing is, now we're in a situation where, Luton are at home now this weekend. Their home form at the moment is great. Derby, they're in decent form. I know obviously West Brom ain't in great form, but to go to the Hawthorns and pick up 3 points for them is great. And we're in a situation now where we don't win this weekend and they pick up wins. We're down, and that's it. And there's nothing that can be done about it.
Okay. All right. Let's try and stay. We'll try and stay positives. And we're going to ask for your goal of the season in a minute. So get thinking on that. But it is the last home game of the season this weekend against West Brom. So we're asking you for your favourite home game memory of the season. And there's not many to choose from, but I'm sure there's one in particular you might put forward. Jamie, you've been to all 22 of them. What's been some of your standout moments?
Well, I think there's only 2, isn't there? Really, is either Plymouth home when we drummed them 5-0, or the Swansea one. And as much as I'd love to sit here and say Swansea one, it looks a bit, I think it just sums up the season. I'd love to gloat about it, but at the end of the day, at the minute, they're the ones laughing at us, aren't they? So, yeah, it's one of those 2 games. I think Swansea home or Plymouth home.
Okay. James?
Yeah, likewise. Obviously, I haven't got a lot to choose from, so it's had to be the Plymouth game or the Swansea game at home.
Okay. All right. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and let's try and pick a goal of the season. There's been a few crackers, to be fair. I know you haven't scored many, but you've had some good ones. James, have you got one that sticks in your memory?
Nothing particular. I have to re-jog my memory, to be honest, but no, nothing that sort of comes to mind.
Jamie?
I'm going to pick Callum Chambers' snapshot from outside the box away at Middlesbrough. It was one of the first games I think we played him as more of a midfielder, and it was just, I think it was only 300 of us up there, and we didn't know it went in, and all of a sudden, you just jump around a long trip and you celebrate anything, didn't you?
Yeah, good choice. And let us know in the comments whether they've missed any. What your favourite goal this season was. Right, we'll keep positive. We'll keep everything crossed for that West Brom game, and then of course, with Norwich sacking their manager now. I mean, who they're going to have in charge? I'm trying to think.
Jack Wilshere.
Oh no, it's Jack Wilshere. Oh come on.
Jack Wilshere versus Ramsey on the touchline.
Ramsey versus Jack Wilshere, right? To stay up, right? Come on, you can beat Jack Wilshere. Absolutely certain of it. Right, fingers crossed then. Thanks so much for joining us both of you. I know it's difficult and painful to talk about this, but we really appreciate it. Thank you all, of course, so much for watching. We'll see you in 7 days' time.